Welcome to episode 8 of the ENGINE9000 Debugger series. Today we're going to do something a little bit different and talk about actually debugging code. But before we do that, quick new feature. Someone in the comments, couldn't find which comment it was, had asked about a Sprite Visualiser, so I quickly chucked it in. New feature. Basically it tracks which sprite writes each pixel, so it's sort of line accurate. Color coded with a legend here. So basically, and you can hover over as well, so you can see for any sprite data that's written to the screen, we can see which sprite it is. So hopefully that's useful. But on to the next topic, which is debugging optimized code. Okay, so here we are with Metro Siege. I was doing some Amiga debugging today, and I came across an issue in the debugger with highly inlined code. So the thing I was debugging was to do with my alarm system, and I was setting a breakpoint and it wasn't breaking. And the reason is because previously I was only setting one break. There was only one translation between source file, source lines, and addresses in the hunk. But GCC generates a bunch of inlines this a bunch of times, so I had to make a change to the debugger so it now will generate it'll generate breakpoints for all the different places that this has been inlined, and this one obviously gets inlined a lot, maybe too much, I don't know. But so that's a thing. Maybe we don't want all these breakpoints. How do we know which is the right one? Well, in this case I know this is the right one, so I can actually just now remove all of those and then set it back here in the assembly window just to get the same breakpoint that I'm after. So that was problem one. Now at least I can break. Problem number two was this local variable. Till a fix I made this morning, I wasn't able to actually print the decomposed version of this variable, so it's just basically a bug in the code. But now we can print these more complex structs when they're local variables. All this stuff I'm talking about is only really an issue with the Amiga. It works fine with proper dwarf debugging information in the other targets, but because the Amiga, the Bebo compiler I'm using doesn't support dwarf, and it uses stabs in the hunk, I had to add a bunch of stuff in to try and bring that up to be as powerful as the dwarf debugging. You can see here we can also do completion, so tab, and I can select which member of the struct I want to view. So that's two quick little fixes I did, but it really helped me debugging this morning. Also, let's have a look at some other little features. We can cut and paste stuff into any of these inputs. And another little feature I've got is anywhere where you can select text, if you select it and type, I think Control H does a quick conversion between hex and decimal. Alternatively, Control I brings up this hex conversion window if you want to be able to see both. That's a little secret feature that you probably wouldn't know about, but I find it pretty handy. So yeah, here we go. Slightly improved debugging for Amiga stabs-based compilers with highly optimized code. I guess lastly, people might say, what's this big.c? Well, in Metro Siege, to this day I still haven't been able to get it to generate better code with link time optimization compared to just basically catting every single C file for each of my little modules into one big file and then compiling it by itself with FBOL program. It still just generates slightly better code. Not exactly sure why, but that's why we've got this big.c rather than all of the source files that actually make up this program. Now, obviously it makes it a bit confusing when I'm debugging, but performance is key, so that's where we are. Anyway, look forward to the next video. See you next time.